Welcome guys to another session of A Day with Zenler. So this is our last session and it runs for approximately 2 hours. So in this session for the first hour, I want to just carry on where we left off with our kind of free users, but I want to share some tips and tricks and housekeeping stuff along the way as well. We've got an hour before Amit Aurora comes on. He's going to be talking about his flow for video editing. And he's also going to talk about a service as well. So it should be really interesting. Amit always comes up with some really good ones for you to ask question, because we know that video editing can seem a little bit overwhelming to most people, and people might just want to up their game and get more professional results. So I think Amit uses Filmora, I'm not sure. So he'll probably be showing that as his choice. He also uses Descript as well. So I use quite a lot of different software, but for Zenler, I mainly use Camtasia. It's just easier, quicker for these sort of videos. It's no problem at all. Okay. So he'll be doing that in parts. So roughly in about an hour's time, 59 minutes. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to jump into some little housekeeping things for you guys. So I'm going to go into the housekeeping session of side of things now. And feel free to comment as you go. I've got Facebook open. I'm not streaming to YouTube because I've got Amit in and it causes a problem. Okay. So I'm going to be just purely on the Facebook group for you guys, and all videos obviously get uploaded into our YouTube channel at the end. So let's jump from our housekeeping and jump to our screen share. And so I'm going to be showing a little tip, not much. I'm not going to go into massive housekeeping. I just want to talk about organization and keeping things clean. So this site, so you know, this is quickly.newzenler.com, okay? But it was gooddoggy.newzenler.com, okay? I just wiped out the old stuff and I started new. So what that means is I didn't go through the media library. So this is something that you guys should be doing. You know, you should be going in and just making sure any media you're not using in your site, you delete out. Okay. Be very careful, because if you delete out an image such as this one that's being used in another page, it will delete from the page. So what I'm telling you is that when you work on a site, if you upload an image and you don't end up using it, just delete it out straight away. It's just good housekeeping. Then you don't end up with 5 or 8 pages worth of different content going in there. You can see all this is from the Good Doggy site. You can see it everywhere. So now I've revamped the site. The only image I'm using are these two here. So another good idea is to kind of name stuff or tag stuff that you're doing. So for page imageries, like, it's a good idea to kind of give that a tag so it's easy to find. So in this case, I can take both of these images by checking them here, and I can go into bulk actions and I can add a tag. So if I add a tag here, I can call this page imagery. Okay. And then I can just select it down there and click add, and you're going to see that a tag then gets added. So if I use one for a course, if I've got a course set up and say it's called marketing funnels with Zenler, okay, I could then, any of the imagery that I use inside of that course or in a funnel even, I could name that marketing funnel imagery or MF imagery. So then I can easily find where stuff is. So later on, if I've got a ton of pages and my media is out the way, like it is here, I can search for that tag. So if I select the tag, I can find the tag in my tag selection. You can see some of them are already marked. So if I go page imagery, it only shows those tagged images in there, you see? So it keeps it really organized. Now, you know, everybody works in different ways, but what I'm saying to you is, even with your courses, keep everything in folders, right? Keep it all really well organized so that you can find things easily. So I'll give you an example. I'm just going to go into some of my data so that I can show you on the screen. So I have a load of folders set up for different things, and if I go in, for instance, into my Zenler folder here, you're going to see that I keep it all organized. So when I've done new feature releases, I keep the feature releases in here, and all my files are together. So I know where everything is. So it's really easy. So I've got specials that I've done, features on live chats I've done, these kind of things. But it makes it very easy to find where everything is. Even a day with Zenler's in there as well, or any of my OBS files that I use. So everything's really organized and I can find things really easily and I don't lose it. Also notice on a backup drive, it's not on my main C drive. So for you guys that don't understand, your computer might be broken into separate drives. So the C drive normally on a Windows machine is the main drive where Windows runs and your programs. So it needs space. When you open a program, it kind of runs and it needs space on that hard drive. Okay, on that C hard drive, it needs space to be able to, you know, spread its wings, kind of thing. And if you open another application, it needs a bit more space. So what you should be doing with your backups and all of your imagery and videos is you should be keeping them on a separate drive from your main drive. So you might be using something like I've got one here. I've just unplugged it. It's probably going to shoot across like here. I've got a little SSD drive. Okay. This is 2 terabytes of data, big drive. And that's not even for the Zenler stuff. Okay. So if you've got it plugged in separate, you can then you're then saving the space. Plus, if I've got it on that drive, I can hook that straight into my laptop if I'm traveling and I've got the information on here. But more importantly, I think, is the fact that one, it's safe, okay, because it's backed up on a physical hard drive. It's also backed up on the cloud as well. So there's a double backup method going. So if I lose one, I've got the other. Okay, so these sort of things are really important. Remember that thing I was telling you about the hard drive? You know, lots of people, what they do is they put all their files on the hard drive. So, and it fills the hard drive up. And then they wonder why the machine is running slow when they're running their programs and their software. So the first thing you should do as part of your housekeeping is definitely to back up your stuff. Okay, so you should be backing up your massive video files and all of these things on an external drive, on the cloud, just on something not on the C drive, taking up space. If you do that and then delete out the stuff from your hard drive, your computer will instantly, as if magic, start working faster. So this is a really good thing you can do. You can also use things like CCC Cleaner, and that will can clean up your hard drive, make it faster. So I'm talking for people that have got older machines, right? So machines get filled up with data and they get slower and slower. So sometimes you need machines to clear stuff out, like it caches, you know, caching on the browser, same in the computer. It caches or it dumps files. Like every time it downloads an update from Windows, for instance, it will keep maybe the old file. So you'll have loads of this data that's never ever being used, that isn't cleaned out, and that will slow the computer down. Okay, so that's in layman's terms. I'm saying it, just free up space for the C drive so it can move around. Make sure that you're backing up and you keep your files organized. And inside the Zenler platform itself, just make sure you're tagging things and getting rid of images that you're not using. So if I want to get rid of this and maybe this one as well, I can just go in there, I can go bulk delete and delete, okay? And then I can delete that file out. So there is actually a bulk thing. If I click there, I can go and clear this selection here as well. So you can clear it out, but you can select individual ones to be cleared. Now be careful, because like I said, if you are using any of these in any other thing, you'll delete them and it won't have access to them. So be careful, but tagging's really good for organizing things inside Zenler. All right, so really important one, that one, actually keeping things organized. And remember what I was saying about the C drive and how it takes up space. So you guys, if you're watching, are you, any of you, having trouble with slow computers and these sort of things? Because if you are, this will help. Okay, so I can see there's no one in. It's normally a popular time, 4 o'clock. Not today. 4 o'clock on a Friday maybe is not the most popular time. But let me refresh my screen and see if anyone's in the house. as Amit would say. Let's have a look. No, I've got no viewers. Where are you all? You all disappeared. Should use an @everyone tag. So maybe I need to run this live later. I'll check out the old ones. Another good thing is, like, if you're running lives and things like that, look at the activity that happens. I know 12 o'clock's quite a good one for Zenler on Fridays. We had quite a lot of activities going on 12 o'clock. It would be our most popular slot, and probably once we hit 5 o'clock it will start to get popular again with the US market. So we don't know. Don't know what's going on. Sometimes you can't tell, but this is good because it's all on replay. So I'm definitely not going to get massive amounts of comments today unless people join us later. Maybe you're all waiting for Amit to come on. All right, so that is talking a little bit about that. So what I want to jump into now is I want to jump into the live build part here. And this live build is just going to be carrying on what we did this morning. So what we did this morning, just to recap, I'm going to show you quickly. I'm going to go to my screen share now. And you're going to see what we did is we basically turned the home page into one of our funnel pages, okay? So we're pretending that we're a free user. We haven't got much time and we want to have something to capture people straight away. So that's what we did. We created a marketing funnel and we made the home page here part of that funnel. So if you go to this site now, and I'll show you in incognito, this is what you'll see. You'll see a funnel, an opt-in funnel page. So if you go in there, you're going to see this, okay? So you can put your name, email, you can register, and it goes through to a thank you page. So that funnel, I'm just going to show you now, is in here. So what we've actually done here is we've made this, we've quickly, and I did it in 8 minutes, all right? 8 minutes, we've created a capturing device, okay? So the reason we did this was for people that want to get up to speed quickly. This is the thank you page. So it says check your inbox. You will have captured them as leads and we've set it up quickly. So what do we do from here? Okay, so you've got your opt-in page and you've got that on Zenler, and now you want to be thinking about your site. So this is where the live build part comes in, where we'll just start to live build what we've done here into our page. So we can take our time with this because nobody's seeing our site, because whenever they go to our site, they're just seeing these funnel steps in here. So no menu at the top to jump around in. There is, yeah, down the bottom here, there is this, but we could even remove this. Okay, it's not linked at the moment. So you can remove that block as well. But it gives us this time now to be able to focus on our site. And we want to keep it simple. What you should be using is a notepad or something to write the page, the minimum amount of pages you need to get started. So we need a home page. We need a thank you page. Okay. Thank you page. We need a home page. We need a contact page, probably. Registration login page for sure. And then we need our terms and condition pages. Other than that, we can put the site together. We will add more pages later. So I'm going to look at this like you're still on the free plan. Okay. So I'm not going to be showing you some of the things that you can do with the pro plan, but when you go on the pro plan, everything's easier for you to do and you've got more scope for change. So what I want to do is I want to start creating my pages in my site. Remember, everybody's seeing that funnel page step. They're seeing this. They're not seeing the pages of your site. So I'm going to go into the admin dashboard, go to site and go to pages. And although your pages are published, nobody's seeing them in here. And so what I like to do is I like to sort of unpublish these pages and slowly start to build my site up. So you can unpublish the pages you don't need and you can build them up. So we're going to start with the home page here. And I advise you to name this. Don't leave it. Lots of people leave it as home page. I advise you to name it the name of your site or something that's going to be picked up by search engines, because search engines look at these names. We just called it home and home page because it is, and we don't know what the name of your site is, but we expect you to change it. So if you look at the URL, it says quickly.newzenler.com/home, but home really means nothing to search engines. So I always like to talk about search engine results as I'm building things, so it makes it easier for you to understand and you don't make big mistakes going forward and have to go through your whole site. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into the settings of this page, and I'm going to change it. Inside here, I'm going to put all in one platform. Okay. And then I'm going to put this up here as well. And I'm going to call it Zenler. And I'm going to add that. And I'm going to click update. I'm going to click yes. And then inside here now, instead of saying home, it says Zenler all in one platform. You know, it's more relevant all in one platform, but all in one course creators platform. But I don't want it too long. So that's going to be perfect. And this will be our homepage. So what I can do, I like to reuse. And here is the tip and tricks part as well, which we've got in here. Here is the tip and the tips and tricks part. Is I'm going to be showing you tips and tricks. So you notice that I'm doing live build, I'm doing housekeeping and tips and tricks, and they're all in this one section. Okay. So my little tips. So what I like to do is I'm going to close all pages. So I'm just on this page. All right. And I'm going to right hand click on our marketing funnel, because I'm going to use the block from our marketing funnel so that it saves me a little bit of time. So if I right hand click rather than just clicking on it, then I'll open a new tab. Do you see a new tab's opened at the side? Do you see that? New tab has opened inside here. Let me just bring this down a bit so you can see clearly inside there, like that. You can see that new tab. So I right hand click. So let me do it again, just so you can see. So in here, I'm going to go to marketing funnels, right hand click with the mouse, open link in new tab. So I haven't lost this page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my marketing funnel, and I'm going to go to my funnel steps, and I'm going to open this first one. So I'm going to go into edit. Right now, I just want to copy that block so I can now close this page off. So I've just got this block, and this is for free users, right? The paid users can save this block here. But free users, you can just come over to this little side. So you click the blue block, open this up, press Control A, then Control C to copy, and you've copied it. We cancel it. So I've copied it. I've copied that code. I'll do it again. The blue block, little bit of the side, click it open, hold the Control key A to select all, Control key C to copy. Okay, and I cancel it. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to close this page down. Now I'm going to go into the home page. Here, I'm going to click edit. So remember, we've copied that code. So this is a way we can get that design from the marketing funnel in here really quickly. Now, I don't want this block. Lots of users come in here and edit it, but I want to replace it. So I'm going to replace this with the code. So I'm going to open this block up. I'm going to press Control A. I'm going to delete it out and press Control V to paste that code in. And I'm going to click save. Now I've got that block across. Now I can just delete out the bits I don't want, and straight away I'm starting to build my page up. So that's how you can do it really, really quickly. And of course, if you are a paid user, you can save these blocks out. So that's a little bit of how you can build your page up really, really quickly and reuse assets that you've used before. Okay, it's a very important part of this. So you've got that block, and that block might remain constant throughout a lot of pages of your site. So you can just change it and adapt it. Again, I'm using AI here. I suggest you write your own copy, but I just want to show you what I've got Claude to produce for me. So I've asked Claude, based on text that it gave me for the marketing funnel, can you create text for my homepage? So over here, it did a really good job. It started to put stuff together, transform the simple way, and it's got a sub headline here and then a hero text in here. So you can start to use this, obviously edit it highly, you know, this is just for speed, but it's really good because it does give you, it gives you an idea of where it's going. Look, it's telling it's launching the 1st, October the 1st, problems you're facing section, solutions section, it's got what you get section, social proof section, urgency and scale. It's all really nice little layout, but pretty standard AI layout, which you might want to change around, but it gives you something to start with, to outline so that you can play around and make it work with you. All right, so you've got that text, you can drop it in, you can start building your page. So what I want to do now is I want to just start playing around with different design things that you could do in Zenler and kind of try and explain them to you as we work our way through. So I'm going to save this page. And the great thing about this is, like we told you, if you go to this site, you're going to go to the funnel. So no one's going to really see these pages, and you can still preview them as admin. You can click that preview button and you can see what it's looking like. So it really helps you. So if we were building a block out, so I wanted to do, I think it was Sina who wanted to do some blocks along the bottom, and she was having problems getting blocks to work and stuff. So what I thought I'd do is I'd just do some simple rounded corner colored blocks to put in an area. So I'm going to show you different things. I'm going to show you how it looks inside a mobile device as well. So what I tend to do is I tend to preview the page, and I right hand click. I'm using Chrome, that's our preferred browser. Right hand click, go down to inspect. And when the inspector comes up, change it here, and you can see what it looks like on a mobile. Okay, so it can really pull. It's not too bad. There is a bit too much space between ready to turn your knowledge into thriving business. So I could jump back in here and go, it's too much, you know, it's too much of a space there. So maybe I'll bring it closer here, save it. Come into the page again, refresh it, and this should have reduced that space down. It's also knocking slightly that way. So I could just take that block, and I showed you how to do this in the last one. I showed you to put a negative value in here to knock everything so that it's all perfectly in line, like that. Okay, and now I can click save it. So I'm just looking at the inspected version and making sure that everything lines up, which it does. And then I can jump back to the desktop version as well. And notice that if you go with the inspector, if you go to this version, you can choose different phone types. You can even set your own custom size. So if I was to go to a Galaxy Z Fold 5, it will give you this. This is how it would look like approximately. You know, it's not 100%. But approximately. And if you went to iPhone 12 Pro, that's kind of what it's going to look like. To me, it's a bit longer than iPhone 12, but it gives you an idea of how things are going to go down when they go to mobile view. Because I know a lot of people have problems with mobiles. All you need to know with a mobile is that one row will knock under the other. So when you start to come down, if you've got two columns like this, okay, if you come down in a mobile, all that will happen is that will go underneath. So you can look at this and go, yeah, well, that's a row. So that is going to be in one place, and that row will be knocked down underneath. And that's exactly what happened. You saw that for yourself. If we do that, there's the image. It's knocked down underneath. Okay. So that's how mobile responsiveness works. And you can turn stuff off and on for different devices if you want to as well. Pretty easy. But we're not going to cover that. So what I want to do is going to create a new block and just start building things out. So a lot of you use the custom blocks that are built in. You've got stuff built in, and that's good. That's a good way to start. I personally don't like to use these blocks, and that's because these are kind of programmed blocks. They've been designed. So you shouldn't really have to move them. It's like if you look at any template and you look at it and you go, yeah, they just allow you to make text changes, maybe color changes, but they don't like you to move stuff dramatically. If you're going to do that, then you might as well build the block yourself. So that's my thinking on it. But still, a lot of people use these. They drag these blocks in and they go, yeah, that looks good. I would like that. And then they go in and change some of these colors. But then sometimes they run into problems later. And it's because it's hard coded in there, so they can go in and do this sort of thing. Yeah, the only problem, another problem, is when you bring your blocks in, sometimes it won't apply the branding. You know, it'll apply the branding of the block, and you can turn it off and on here under apply branding, but it can alter things. So again, I am a builder. I prefer to build. I've got a vision of what I've done. Good idea. Have a Canva template, or go on Canva and start mocking things out. And I think that's what we're going to do now, because I think that's a good way to sort of show you. So if I jump into my Canva account, by the way, is a free account. So if I jump into Canva here, we're going to create a template. So I like to start with something for this as a design. for this, and I will go to a size of 1920. I want a bit of height on this, so width from 1920 to a size of about 3000. Then it will give me a nice long, like a web page, and I click create new design. Remember this, I'm just doing this to mock up things very quickly. So then I can come in and I can have a look at what I want to do. So for instance, I might want to put a block in here. I might want to drag a block over here and then get another block and sort of put these something like that, and then maybe align them, space them evenly like that. And then I might want one of these blocks in red, might be one of these blocks in yellow. It gives me an idea of what I'm aiming to do. Yeah. So I know that on responsive mode, because this will be 3 columns, right? Responsively, this red one will drop under and the yellow one will drop under that. So it's a little bit talking about responsive design. So then you can go into your headings and you can start to play around and see what things look like. And this is a really quick way of working, because you can sort of see as you're working with it what's going on. So let me just, oops, do that. So that one's definitely going to go into a black. So it gives me an idea. So if I was trying to do something like that in Zenler, really easy. So it gives me an idea. I've got 3 columns, 1 row. That's good. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to build it out. So I always find that if you understand how things are made up and built, and if you can visualize them or even write them down on a bit of paper, yeah, just mock something up, then you can start to break it into pieces and make it work. That's what web designers do. They break imagery up and they just put it and make it work in a page. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this from scratch. We're going to go empty block because I need a block to control everything. So the blue block is the block that contains it all. And then a row is always green. So I want 3. Okay. And then in this case, because I want a different color for each of the rows, I can't color these separately. Okay, I can't, I've got to, if I go in there, I can't color this column separately from this column. You know, I can't do that. I can go in there and do this, change the whole thing, but I can't color each one separately. So how do I get around this? So row in a row. Why not? That works. The rows drop underneath each other anyway. So I've got to add an element. I'm going to add a row in a row. And now you're going to notice I've got that row in that row. Okay. So I'm going to do the same for this one. I'm going to drop a row in there. I'm going to go to that one and drop a row in there. Okay. So I've got that. Now I'm going to inside that row. So what we've done is we've created a big block. Then we've gone in and we've created a 3 column 1 row. And then in each of those, we've dropped a 1 column row. All right. So a row in a row. It's not hard, is it? A row in a row. So if anyone's watching this and they're with me, just tell me it's easy. Or afterwards, if you're watching this on the replay, put in there, yep, I understand it. It's easy. Or put questions in there after. I don't mind. So let's now add a heading in here. So I'm going to add a heading bit of heading text in here. And I'm going to call it, let's call it an area of the site. So let's call it funnels. And then let's duplicate it and drag it into this row and call this courses. And then let's take another one, drag it in, put it into this one. Let's call it live. So that might be sections of the site that you're training people on. Right, so underneath that, so what have we done so far? Big block. We got a 3 column. We got row in each of those, and we've got an element heading block in each of those as well. And we've done the same for all of these. Yeah. So pretty simple. So let's now add some text. So I'm going to click little plus under the element, and they're in red. And I'm going to click and I'm going to click some text and drop some text in there. So get your text the right size. Again, we are doing a tips and tricks here. So this is tips and tricks stuff, guys. So tips and tricks, all right? So in here, we're going to set this to the right size, make sure it's the right font and all these stuff, and we're ready to go. And then I can put in here some text. I'm going to leave this text as it is because I'm not going to use AI to generate stuff. I'm just showing you how you can make it look good. And it'll all come together in a second. Remember, we're trying to get this type of look. Okay, that's all we're trying to do. So now we've got our text in there. We haven't colored it properly yet, but it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to go to that row that's inside the big row. I'm going to click the settings in here, and I'm going to set a background color of, it doesn't matter, whatever color I choose. Okay, so let's go for Zenler's kind of purpley color here, something like that. Yeah, something like that. All right. Now I'm going to choose a corner radius on this of about 20. So now we're starting to get there. See? And we're going to do the same for this one inside here. We're going to select that straight away, 20. And then we're going to put this into a red color. Let's put it into that. Oh, that's the border color. I don't want a border on this, by the way. You can put a border around if you want. So I'm going to go and choose a reddy color there. And then finally, we're going to have this orange. So I'm going to select that settings for that. Wherever you see that little gear icon, it's settings. We're going to put that in there. And this one's going to go into a nice bright yellow color. I'm just going to do it kind of mustard color. Let me change it to something like that. Okay. Now we just need to set this color. So I'm going to go in here, choose the color for this white. And we just go around and choose this color like so, and choose it white in here. And the whole thing about this is just consistency, so being consistent with it. So now I just want a little bit more space. You could put a button in here now, but I'm going to just drop a little bit more space in the bottom. I'm going to go to around about 50, and I'm going to go to 50 on this block as well, so you can actually put that in there, type that in there, and go on there 50 as well. Not that many. Let's go to 50. Okay, and now I've got 3 perfect blocks, and they pretty much match what we're looking at inside here. Okay, these are square, but we can make them bigger or smaller. It's up to us, but it matches that pattern. So then you could put an image in here if you wanted to as well. So if you've got an image that's got a cutout, you could use an image like that. Drop that in there, you clone it, drop another image in there, clone it, drop another image in there. And then you've got a pretty cool block produced quite quickly. And you can also now, because it's in those blocks, you could change the background color of this to something like a light gray. You could even give the row inside a row, you could even give it a border if you wanted to. So you could do a solid border style, a width of 2. And then I could change that and make that sort of pale blue like this, you know. And remember those, try and keep stuff consistent when you're working with it. So I've got that in there. I'm going to go to 2 border width again. I'm going to go to solid. And this one I can turn into like an orange color. So I can go into maybe my orange and it works with that. And finally, maybe I'll make this one black to suit the lettering. It isn't quite black, but so I go solid there, border color. Let's change it to gray like that. And now you've got a slight color change around the edges done really quickly. Let's just save that and let's just view it. And then we'll look at it in mobile. So now you've got a nice little block. So the only thing is it doesn't go right to the edge, but that's okay. You could have put that in that free block, or you can go into that top block here and go, okay, I'll just move that in a little bit or move that out a little bit to get that to be the same. We'll do that full width and add another block inside there. So looks pretty good. Something you also need to know is that you can save this block if you're one of the Pro or Premium members. So you can click save that block, custom block. Well, I showed this earlier. The custom 2, let's call it, save. And now that will appear in your blocks down here under custom blocks. You can see all these ones I've created before. There's loads of them. By the way, to delete these out, if it's not working for you, that's the one we just created. You can just go in and click here. So you can delete blocks out. So you delete, it's a bit of a pain because it closes up every time you do it. But you can go in and you can delete those out. When a new page builder comes along, that's all sorted. So we're not working anymore on the old page builder, which is what we're viewing now. But you can do some really cool things. Inside here, we can add animation to this as well. So if we go to our settings and go over here, you're going to see animation. We can do like little bounces and things like this. And you can set an interval so it repeats every like 3 seconds or something. And then I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to get it to do in sequence. So I'm going to go 3 seconds. I'm going to go on this one, bounce, and I'm going to say 4 seconds. And this one, I'm going to do bounce, and I'm going to do 5 seconds. So what should happen is it should do it in series. Interval seconds 5. So I'm going to interval this as well. I'm going to say 5. And we might need to play a little bit. 4. And this one will be delayed by 3 seconds. So hopefully if I play this, it should go boom, boom, boom. So let's preview it. So let's have a look at this now. So that image is not coming up. It come up, and come up because we delayed it. So it disappeared, then it came up. So let's make that a little bit better. Let's set the delay a little bit quicker. Let's do no delay at all. Let's do a 1 second. So it'll come up instantly. So we got 1 second delay. I'm going to change that interval so it doesn't repeat itself. That's 3 seconds, and I don't want an interval. I don't want an interval here because it'd be bouncing up and down. Okay. Okay, now let's view it. So let's refresh this. Boom. And, so you got that boom, boom, boom. And it only runs once because we've only set it once. So with animation, less is more. You don't want to be going crazy with this stuff and animating, but you can set these images. So you're going to notice that this same image also shows the background through it. And that's because I've exported it out of Canva. And you can only do this if you've got a paid account, but you can go to share and you can go download, and you can download it as a transparent PNG. And that means the background won't be exported out. So it means it'll only show the colored blocks. And that's what I've done with that image that you saw here. Okay, it's just been exported out as this image. All right, so that's how you can do it. So little tip there, use Canva and sort of lay it out. If you can't work it out, just lay it out and figure out how it's going to work. So you can look at this and go, yeah, well, it's definitely one row and I've got 3 columns there. So I should be able to make that work in the system. Of course, once you get comfortable, you can start doing so much more with it. You know, you can add another column in here, and then you could take parts of this and duplicate it out. But you can't actually bring a row from a row across into another row. But it's not a problem. It's so quick to build. You can just go in and grab that row there, and you can go in and set that corner radius to 20. So I'm adding a new one here, and I'm going to choose this background color and make it a green or something. Okay, and then I can duplicate these parts out because I can drag these in. I can duplicate this, so you can see how quick I'm adding these extra elements in here, this extra row going across. So now I'll set another one up, save that, and you've now got 4 in a row. But it's reusing that content. So if it's a struggle for you because you don't do this stuff a lot, like I suggest, use a Canva template to kind of work out how it's going to work. I've already told you that things drop down under each other. So let me just show you here. So you're going to see it in action. So what will happen is this whole column will stay at the top. This one will drop under, this one will drop under. So if we go to inspect and I turn on mobile, we come down, there we go. And of course they're animating as well. So 1, 2, 3, and that one will come up. So they're showing through there. So that's how it works, right? So that one showed up because it's delayed. And they'll keep bouncing as you hit them. So that is how responsive behavior works. That is how you can easily visualize what you're trying to do. And you might want to make up whole blocks. You can build out whole pages in here. You know, you can say, right, okay, well, I want this and I want this across here. And, you know, and you can start to build up these little blocks and say how you want things to go. So if I want to build the one row on top of that, really easy. I'm just going to go down here I'm going to go plus, I'm going to go 1 row, and I'm going to put a row inside a row, and I'm going to give it, I'm going to do the same as what I did for the other row. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to set the radius to 20. I'm going to go, I'm not going to put a border style on this one. I'll just choose another color like that. And now, and I can move that whole block up. So I can go to that column, I can move it all up above, and then I can start to duplicate stuff out. So I can duplicate this out, put it in there, you know, get the idea. And remember that you can also put a row in a row in a row, all right, if we want to get really complicated. So I'll just drop this down here. So I've got a row here, then I've got a row inside a row, so I can get the same corner radius and the color and control it. Now I'm going to put a row in a row. So I'm going to click in here, and now I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to drag that into there. I'm going to duplicate. So understanding it is the key here, guys. So let's go across, drop that in there. And of course, it's not aligned top. Maybe I want it to align top. So I can come in here and go vertical position top, and it all jumps to the top there. Okay. And if you want to, you can take this and you can bring it down here as well to make it smaller or larger in there. And there you've got something really quick. And it's really quick. You know, I've done that lightning speed. You take a bit more time over it. Maybe you bring this up a little bit here. And bottom, bring it a little bit closer there. Maybe you drop a button in as well. So go and drop a button into here. I'll just click save and we can view it. All right, let's just, and there we go. So that's animated as well. Let me just turn that animation off. Let's go normal. Get rid of all that so it just stays constant. See what I mean? If too much animation can really annoy you. So you've got this stuff, it's a nice effect, but you've got to be careful you don't just overuse it. So often people will use it on buttons. That's a usual one to do. So they'll go in and they'll animate everything. By the way, even blocks and rows can be animated. So you've got this animation setting on everything. I quite like the flash or the pulse. Pulse is my favorite. Tadal's quite good as well. Like, ba-dang. And let's go to pulse here. That's quite a nice one. And you can put a delay on that or an interval of every 3 seconds. And then you're going to get this nice little pulse going on. It's just built into the system, this animation. So see it pulsing, and then 1, 2, 3, it will pulse again. And it will just repeat that constantly, okay? So let's check this and put this into a better color. Probably put it into something like that. Text. That, make that more of a pure color. So once again, if you don't want it all centered, you can come down to the alignment. Everything's got its own alignment. So you can left align that so it all lines up with each other. Like so. There you go. So again, everything blocks and rolls under each other. So this is really important. I just wanted you to understand in this tips and tricks, in this housekeeping, and in this live build session for an hour, we've jumped across and done everything. You've looked at there how you can mock it up in something like Canva. You've looked at how you can make that work and responsive behavior. You've looked at saving blocks. You've looked at reusing a block that you've already created in another part of the site so that you can slowly in the background build up all your page elements. And you've also looked at AI, how you can create this kind of outline look. We also went into the media library and we talked about keeping things clean and tagging. And we also talked about your C drive and making sure that you're not keeping everything on there and your computer's running slow. And if it's running slow, get all of that stuff backed up on a little drive like this. And so that will free up space that your computer can use for its software to run a bit faster. All right. So that is a hell of a lot to cover in 44 minutes. So I'm hoping you guys will put a ton of comments that you're saying that has really helped you. I think I've made it in a nice clear way for you to sort of know and understand it. Yeah. By the way, guys, we are 100 members in our Facebook group away from 10K in our Facebook group. We'd love to bring everybody. It's Kevin's the suspect. Yeah, it's really quiet today, isn't it? I'm not going to get. I got two comments. One of them's mine. Do 200 comments, Kevin, please. So yeah, but we covered a lot there. We covered a lot in that lesson. So really been an interesting day. I want to kind of wrap up before Amit comes on. Been an interesting day, and I'm really happy with our mid session. I'm happy with all the sessions. I'm happy with our mid session because we got to recap on those features, and that was really nice. It was nice for Kevin to go back over those with me as well, because sometimes you get a bit rusty. You're like, I haven't looked at that feature for ages, and so it's quite interesting, quite a challenge that Kevin throws it in there. It was really good. So I really like that little format that we had there. Now in the morning we tackled quite a lot. We built funnels. We showed you we sort of had a little look at what Kevin has what he's actually putting together. He's trying to do comments. So I'm a suspect. Okay, I'll help out. So he's doing it one at a time. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 series. No, we always try and get engagement. So if we can turn something we did that we love, also make it a little bit fun and engaging as well, that's what we try and do with that. But we hopefully this morning want lots of you free guys, because a lot of you that came in this morning, you've got your sites going. Probably it's quite basic for you, but maybe you picked up some tips and tricks, but that's what we need to do. So Kevin, I've given you a little taster there of how you can get up to speed in 8 minutes and get your site so you can start generating leads. So Kevin is putting together, I'm really glad he's here, because he's putting together an outline of what that's going to be like for the free members, okay, coming in, because we want the free members to convert. We want them to get to a point where they go, I've got something of value, I'm starting to get leads, I'm starting to get sales, it works. That's it. Just that first thing of saying it's actually working for me, and then them come on and be pro members with you guys, because most of you in here are pro members. All right, but so for you guys, we never really do this specifically. We do workshops for everybody all the time, so we don't really ever turn around and say this is just for free users to get them on to be pro members and see what they've got access to. Because I think a lot of people, like especially the older members, don't realize all of the extra stuff. And I think in that midday session going through them, I mean, I'm sure Kevin will agree, it's crazy, all the features that we've got now. And we were talking about it. We said we looked at it and we was like, well, we've had years where we have more features come out. But I was saying to Kevin, it's like, yeah, we put the new feature up. I said many times there's features that we're bringing out. So I'll give an example. Like we brought out the community, then Rakesh put member approval in there. Then he put the online visible, so you could see when people were online in the platform. So we never did individual new features for each of those things. So the community alone probably has about 9 features built into it that have come along that we don't mention. So in that respect, we've probably been the most prolific year, although it doesn't look like it on our YouTube channel for our new features, which is where you can see all the stuff. So yeah, so very, very cool. We have Amit coming in about 10 minutes. So he's always on time. So what I will do is save this block and tell you. So what you want to do is you want to plan everything out. So it's really important that you start planning out. Now you've got your page, right? As a new user, you've got your page together and you can start generating leads and you start creating graphics. So that's what we want to do. So I'm going to do a quick one now into the live build. I'm going to jump across to my screen share again, and I'm going to show you in Canva, you've got all these templates that you can use. So you can go into templates for things like social media inside here, and we can just start creating content. So if you go into the home here and you go I want some social media content here, and I want to look at Instagram posts. You know, you can go in and it will create the Insta post, but you've got the Insta post stuff this side, and you can basically take that, drag that in there, turn that into your business name, put a link in here to your site, and then post it. Yeah, you can get more involved. You can put video in there if you want. You can film yourself and post it up there, but all you're trying to do is generate that traffic coming through, that first thing. So Instagram is good, YouTube is good, of course Facebook is good as well, and you can create all those templates really easily inside of Canva, and they're professional templates, so you haven't got to mess around with them too much, and you haven't got to know too much about design to be able to do these things. So you've got templates for everything in here, multi-set designs as well. These are quite good. So you've got multiple sets for multiple, see, let me click that one. I've never used it before. Customize this set. So that's a little set that sets up, a little brand set. And you've got stuff in here. Look, so these are all different sizes inside here. You can see all this. Yeah. And you can use all this stuff going forwards. So pretty cool. That's a different size for that. Little sizes for there. So it tells you all these pack, and it's got all this thing in here. I've not really used this, so this is new. Quite interesting. And you can take those and I guess move them or print them out. And then once you've got them, of course, you can go to share. Once you've changed it all, you can go to download, select JPEG. This it's got video in it, and then use MP4 down here. Then you can export this set out, and then you can use them. So you go in and just change them, maybe change the person. Makes it really easy in here. If I change this, if I get rid of this person in here, I could bring her across like that. I could remove the background, and then I could stick her. Oh, Canva does tend to throw things around like that, you know? So you can change these things up. You can go to things like the gradient in here. And if you don't like that gradient, you can click in here and go, I don't like that color. I want to change it to like an orange, you know, and you don't like that. I just go in there and I just change it to a white. So straight away, you can change the look and feel of these things straight away. But my main point here is that Canva's got a lot of stuff you can just get out. You can get that stuff out really quickly. And that backs up what I'm doing. So whereas we created a funnel system and a community in less than 12 minutes, I think, you can also create your media really quickly, probably in another hour, and you can start the process. So it doesn't need to stop you. I think the main thing here, this when Kevin came up with this idea of, you know, don't work on the site, don't work on a course, just get something ready that you can push out straight away. It changes things for you because you are probably not doing things because you think it's going to take too long. So we have now, or we've shown you a way that you can free up time for yourself. So you've now freed up that time. You've taken that pressure off yourself. You've got something you can market. Now you can take a little bit longer over your site, get all that ready, and still be generating leads so that when you are ready, you can then go, I'm ready. And you can tell those people, you can send an email out to all those leads and say, look, I'm ready. Come and have a look at my site, join in the fun, come into the community. I'm running a live to tell you about exactly what I'm going to do. And then you can just get this buzz going really, really quickly. Don't, and I said this before, don't set up these lead generation funnels, marketing funnels, if you're not going to be doing anything at all. All right. The worst thing in the world is to set it up and then go, right, I've done that. I've put out a lot of content. Now I'm going to go away for a year and then come back. Not a good idea, right? Your leads won't appreciate that at all because you want to keep that honesty. If you said that you're going to release something in 3 or 4 months, then you've got to stick to that. Otherwise, they'll lose faith in you. All right. So hopefully it's been of use for you. It's been quite an exciting day today. We've had a lot of things. It's always a long day. Normally I've got Mammy in, so maybe Mammy will come along next time and do some stuff. I want to invite more people. I want like the afternoon session to be more of you guys. I'm really happy that Amit said he would come in and just say a little bit about video production and these things. He always likes to talk about AI. So he's going to be more interested than this first bit. I think this is good though, like going through the platform, showing you how to do builds. I know, like, you know, it can seem like a bit boring because it's like, oh, you build a block, this is what happens. But this is the stuff that you need to know. You know, you need to know how these blocks are working responsively. It's your site, you know, and you can make things look amazing, completely different. Like the whole thing was built, like the tutorial site, for instance, built in the same manner. You know, we've got blocks left and right, things go down there, stuff drops under each other. If I go to inspector mode here, you can see this stuff all drops down. It's all beautifully aligned, you know, everything works inside here and it's clean. And that is working the same method. So if you're using that, these are pretty much what we just built, isn't it? You know, with a little button at the bottom that goes to the training resource. So you can make this stuff look really cool. We've got different imagery in there as well. And then they go through to these. Now you might be like, my course page doesn't look like that. Well, that's because I set up these course blocks. I'm not using the dynamic blocks. I wanted complete control over it. So I set up each of these blocks and they jump to the course in here. Yeah. So everything's hand custom made because I really wanted to separate everything out. That was the big goal. That was my brief. Once all the team were talking, because everything we do is like we team as a team, we talk about it, we do things. Does that look good? Does that look change? You know, Sajish, the designer, comes in and says that needs changing, or use that graphics. So it's a longer process, but it's it gets the right results. But that's basically how we built. You know, I've shown you here how we kind of built the tutorial site in a nutshell. So Amit's here for the last hour now, and all should be good. I can see Amit in the house. I'm going to make him co-host so that he has full rights. And hi, Amit. How are you today?
Amit's in the house, man.
You are in the house.
I want to ask about what was your latest travel adventure?
Oh, I went last time I went to Italy, so I did some skiing and stuff. It was really nice at Christmas, but I didn't really go away. But I'm thinking Sri Lanka this year. I'd like to see. I did the coast, just the surfing, but I'd like to see the mid area. It's such a beautiful place, and the people are just really lovely.
And the food.
So yeah, and the food, and it's all so cheap there. My wife just come back from Nepal. She said it's ridiculously cheap out there, and the people are really lovely as well. You've traveled around, so you know. So yeah.
I'm not as much as you. You like when I grow up, I want to be like you and travel a bit. You inspire me to travel, David.
Well, I'd like to, yeah, I'd like to come over to the US, you know. Because Amit was here a while ago and I couldn't make it, and he actually came to London, and I was really gutted because I think I was in Italy at the time or something.
I don't know. You were somewhere. You're like, dude, I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, it was such a shame. So next time we'll not miss. But what
I
are you
went
talking about
to
today, Amit?
Today
What are you
we are going to talk about how I use AI for video editing.
Yeah, this is a really good one because people get stuck. It's quite complicated, isn't it? People really get stuck with the video editing side and really upping their game.
Yeah.
And you see
What?
so many videos that are not that good.
Yeah. So, David, it's a struggle, right? It's like I want to get content out there, but I want it to be good. But at the same time, I just sometimes just want the content out there, and sometimes I get stuck in the perfectionism of everything instead of let's just get it out there.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to touch on that. But before we start, I wanted to see if you can kind of tell me what's your process like today, just to understand, because you obviously edit all your videos and you do a lot of editing. So can you walk me through yours and then we'll jump into my process. I'll do screen sharing. I have tools to show you guys. I have my full process, including like how I take it from one tool to the other to chat GPT to YouTube, and I'll show you all of that fun stuff.
Although, yeah, mine's pretty. See, I mean, the stuff I'm doing, to be honest, the stuff I'm doing for Zenler, it doesn't really push me at all. It's all very simple stuff. So it's just like have a green screen up, you know, I can play around with it. Not always, sometimes I do cut shots and I have cameras off, but mainly it's in the static. So it's just quick because we're trying to produce things really quickly.
Yeah.
So even someone that's shooting like raw footage on their phone, I reckon I can produce the material quicker with a full studio setup than they can.
Yeah.
just because I'm so used to processing it. And they, by the time they take it through Handbrake and do all of those things,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, whoa, what are you doing that? You should be finished now. So if I show you, like I've got my green screen on here, so if I turn my chroma key off, you can see that I've got my green screen. So I just
Perfect.
turn that on, and this is done through OBS. So I can literally now set up my OBS, and I can just record straight from OBS with the green screen, everything in position. I can even do transition slides and output it straight away at production quality. If I'm taking it a stage further, I'll do a green screen shoot, and then I'll create some background graphics or animations and put that in behind me, or do transitions, or set
Yeah.
up different assets to bring in maybe some video files and this sort of thing. So it depends how far I'm going with it.
Gotcha.
You know, there's degrees, how much time Rakesh allows me to a project. So
Yeah.
that's how I work. It's pretty easy stuff
Okay.
most of the
And
time.
OBS, I know you've done a bunch of tutorials on it. I've used it once or twice, mainly for live streaming. But that's good to know. I'm actually going to show you the software that I use and how it can apply a green screen even if you don't have one. And a lot of these newer softwares are being able to do that, right? They can use AI to recognize a human in the frame and just cut out anything that's in the background.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got a brand new system. I've got the really quick NVIDIA graphics card, and built into it is the ability to turn on the background removal.
Yeah.
Does a really, and it key lights as well. But it does a really spooky thing, right? This is so weird. AI, so it's crazy. But it does this thing where it makes you look at the camera. So it'll picturize, but they look dead. They kind of look dead. It's like they're just like, it's crazy stuff. And they just like a little dead eyes moving around if you
Yeah.
move do this. It's crazy.
That's funny. So
So
I use Descript and we'll look at that. But I also use Filmora. So yeah, if you want, I can share my screen. Um, First, I'll get into the hardware piece of it. Then I'll get into the software. Do I have screen sharing rights?
yeah, you got it all. You got it all.
All right. What are you seeing right now?
I'm seeing your YouTube channel.
Perfect. Perfect. That's we'll start there. Um, so hardware wise, what do I use, right? For my video output, for every video I make, I used to have this complicated setup where I would use like a webcam, like a Logitech C900 or something, and then I had a DSLR camera that was going into my computer through a HDMI output, and it was just too complex for me. But I set it up once, and I was like, okay, now I'm done. I don't have to touch this again. But then I came across this little guy, and now so it's Insta360 Link, I think it's called. Have you heard of this one, David?
Yeah, do you know what? I was looking at that. I was looking, it follows you around, doesn't it? And it's got AI built into it, is it?
Yep.
Is it that
So
one?
this is the one. Do I have tracking on? Right now, I don't have tracking on. So if I touch it, see when I move, the camera is moving with me anywhere I go. So
Yeah.
this thing is seriously great quality stuff. It has AI hand gestures. So if I do like this, like the loser sign, and then I go up, you see it zooms into my face.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
Totally worth it. Like no complicated setup. It connects to the USB directly to your computer. I do want to upgrade my computer. Like you said, you have a nice NVIDIA graphics card. So I feel like for video editing, Mac is kind of like the best. But I've been doing it on Windows. You're like, nah, Mac's not that good. Here's the thing, right? My work computer is a Mac. And if you look at my setup, I have this nice tall desk, standing desk, and I have work set up on one side and my personal on one side. And anytime I switch, my mind has to switch from Windows to Mac to Mac to Windows. My mind's going crazy, David. I'm like getting old. So now I'm looking to getting a Mac Mini because that thing is a powerhouse. And for what they're selling it for in US, it's worth it for every single penny. It's like I can get it for like $445.
Mm.
for a Mac Mini, which is like awesome. So, anyways, this is my hardware setup, just this one as far as camera goes. Then I use Shure MV51 for my mic. So also a USB mic, just plug and play, nothing fancy needed. It can also connect to your cell phone. So this is my hardware setup. And then I use a Windows PC. It's just like a gaming PC I had purchased. I forget what kind it is, but that's my current hardware setup. Did you have any questions about this, David, before I move further?
No, I mean, the microphone looks good. So it connects it to your mobile as well.
Yeah, they had given me like a little cord that goes from here, like this micro USB to my iPhone. I've never used it. I don't know what the purpose is. My guess is like you can record
Use
videos
it.
from your phone, but have the output be this camera instead of your phone's crappy camera, or microphone, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, it'll pick up much better quality. No,
Yeah.
I think Shure are pretty good. I'm quite happy with the Blue Yeti. I've been through loads of them.
Yeah, those are good.
And
I also use uh, just because I like spending a lot of money on things that I don't use. But I did buy this one, Neewer microphone. Uh, so I bought this, and this is more so when I am. So I recently did a in-person AI workshop. This came in handy for that because I just clip it in and it has the wireless receiver and you can just walk around and talk and it's great quality. And it can also connect to your phone or you can see in this image, right? It's like
yeah,
a no-brainer
yeah.
for $130.
Yeah, do you know what? I think I've got that somewhere kicking around. I'm like you,
So,
I gather things, you know. I've got loads of
exactly.
like cases with things in. Um,
Yep.
and I thought that one's really quite good because like if you're doing recording on the beach or something, we've got seagulls and the sea crashing, then it picks up the sound, doesn't pick up like straight from the phone and things. So lavaliers are really good.
Yeah. So I have that. But if you go with the first two things, the base setup of the Insta Link 2 and the Shure MV, it's like less than $400 to get going. And to your point, you can just start with the Blue Yeti. You don't even have to go with the Shure, or you can get a used one for $70 at Guitar Center.
Yeah, I think do you know like 369. I know it's not a lot once you get into this stuff and you start using it because the quality's so much better. But a lot of people they struggle with paying that even that sort of money. Say £400 just to have a camera and a microphone when I can just use my inbuilt one. But look at the difference in quality. You know, just look at the difference in quality with your cameras and stuff with the low light levels, the way it picks up under low light conditions, and look at your images, and then you decide. Look at Amit's image now. Look at my image now. Do you know? And then compare it to what the stuff that you're producing out, and
Yep.
then maybe it's justifiable.
I think it's totally justifiable, especially if you can at least get a, in my opinion, I don't know what your thoughts are, David. People will forgive bad video quality, but bad audio, that's all of it, right? We all are here creating courses, and if someone can't understand you, they're going to bounce. So, bad video, they might still overlook it. I had like a many chat video on my YouTube channel, old, super grainy-ish, but people were there for the content. They didn't really care about the video quality. They were getting good content, and that was like my highest performing video for the longest time. So
Mm.
I'll get into the software setup a bit here too. And this could be, I want to say this could be my PC that's acting up, but I have a little complicated process and I could make it easier, but I'll tell you why. So I record everything in Filmora, which is my go-to video recording thing. Then I export it to Descript, which is a AI video editing software. We're going to look at this in much more depth today. And the reason why I do that, I could ideally record everything and do everything in Descript, however you know. It's like Jiffy or Giphy, like GIF or GIF or I never know how to call it. So
Their script.
Descript, okay. Because anytime I have tried doing it directly natively in Descript, my lip sync is off and I don't know why. So part of the reason why I want to move to Mac is because Descript is native Mac, but it also works great on Windows. And now they have a web app too, so you can do it right in the browser. So those are my two go-to softwares for video.
Is Descript, it records to the cloud, doesn't it? It records straight onto
Yeah.
their services. So
Yes.
Filmora, you're recording straight onto your desktop, aren't you?
Yep.
So that's obviously, there can be a lag issue. We always find a lag issue with streaming. So maybe it's the connection between the two.
Well, in Descript, what I have done is I am in my settings, I have everything recording. Where is it? Somewhere in here, I have everything recording on my drive, which
Oh,
is
okay.
local as far as I remember. But that's a good point. I should check if it's local or if I'm using the cloud drive. So that could be why.
Yeah. I'd only say that because even with OBS, right, you can set it when you're streaming, it's like something like Facebook, you have to set an offset on the audio. So
Gotcha.
so it might be the same if you just had an offset set on your mic. Maybe then you wouldn't need to tie it up.
Okay. We should
I
look
don't
at that
know.
together once this session is over. If you have time. I know you're a busy guy. So
I'm
yeah,
gonna
those are
drop.
the
I'm gonna drop dead after this session. I've been on all day.
yeah, I know, right? So those are my two go-to softwares. I have stopped using Descript now for editing. I use it very minimally, and if you, for those who watch this to the end, I have something to show why. And it has also exponentially increased my production quantity, and I'm launching a lot more videos on YouTube. And you can kind of, when I show you my YouTube channel, you'll see like that avalanche of how it goes from like one video a month, 1 to 2 video a month to like boom, like I'm doing 7, 8, 9 videos a month. So those are my two. Then I use AI for thumbnails, and I like to use Sora for thumbnails, which is essentially ChatGPT. But I've also been playing with Google's latest image generation called Whisk. So, David, I launched this video yesterday, how I used AI to create Facebook ads, and some of those thumbnails, I'll show you. Like these thumbnails were all through Google's new image generation software. Like this one was pretty good. Create Facebook ads with AI, and I took the prompt from ChatGPT, put it in here, and then use that as a thumbnail for my YouTube videos. So for software, for thumbnails especially, I use Sora in combination with this Google Whisk, but I'm just experimenting with this because it's pricey. If you look at my subscription, it doesn't show it there. It's right now at a discounted 50% discount. Oh, here it is. The 50% discount brings it down to $125 a month. So that's a lot, right? But
Yeah.
that gives you access to all of Google AI products. So you get access to Flow, you get access to Whisk. We are veering off topic, but I want to show you like some of the softwares that I use for video production. So
Well,
Filmora.
I like that, Amit, that it's one thing that the AI image generators have real big problems with is text. They just mess it right up. So I can see that looks good.
Oh, I'll show you some of the video thumbnails I created in Sora. That text problem is now, I would say, a thing of the past. Like, look at this. Obviously, my face is up a little questionable here.
it, it doesn't look like you, really.
But other than that, like the text on image is spot on. Like it's getting it 99% of the time, and this is only going to get better, right? And this is Sora. So if someone's paying for ChatGPT $20 a month, this is included in it.
Mm.
And if you haven't tried it, David, you totally should. Because I mean, remember I had made a photo of you in snow somewhere, and your T-shirt said, "I love Zenler, but I love skiing more."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that text was perfect. I mean, This is
Mm.
just crazy.
Because
Feel
I've been playing around quite a lot with Kling AI.
I did have a Kling AI membership. I canceled it because I you can do almost all of it with Sora, but I did try it and it has its strong suits. What do you like about Kling?
Um, it goes off route quite a lot, but it's very good for it's
Text.
very good for sort of studio shots. It's very good for creating little animation clips. You know, it does a really good job on that. They've added quite a lot more features into it as well, multi-elements, for instance. So now you can upload multiple different images and you can actually get them to combine, which is
Yep.
really good. So they've added quite a lot of things in there, but I haven't really had a play with Sora, so I think I will because I
Oh,
like to
dude. If you
see
have
what's going on.
ChatGPT $20 a month, this is a
Yeah,
no-brainer because it's included.
yeah,
So for
yeah.
those who are going to watch this later, here's the thing, right? I could upload something here and I can say in either a video or an image, but I can also add an image from library for a reference, and then you can mess with the ratio of whether you want landscape, portrait, or just a square. And then you can also apply some presets, but the quality that this is generating is just mind blowing. Like it's insane what you can do with AI today.
Mm.
Now you mentioned in Kling there's something where you can upload elements and use those. I was playing with that in this one, Flow, and it for the first one it did a decent job. I just need to play with it more. But I had done one where I uploaded a couch image or a cat image and then asked it to use that in the video. It's this one right here. So for this one, what I had done is I had uploaded this girl's image, then this castle looking thing or uh, this building and this little puppy. And I said, use these three in a scene together. And you can see her face isn't that accurate, but you can see like
Mm.
it used the dog, it used the fall foliage, and even that image in the back is so it's getting good, man.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice that you can control that. You know, that's the thing. I know you guys, some of you guys are watching this thinking, oh, you know, it's taking over and those things, but it's kind of like it is, but you need to control it. So, like we say all the time, it's a tool. Uh,
Yep.
Amit's got a clear vision of what he wants to get by loading those assets in there. He knows what he wants to do, and it could take, you know, it could take him 10, 20 different versions to get the one he wants, and always tweaking things as you go through. So I think that's an important aspect as well. Like AI prompt engineering is really must for any of this sort of stuff.
Yep. Yeah. And if you play with this, David, what's crazy is let me enable sound sharing. All right, watch this. This video, including the sound, is AI generated. And my prompt here is journalist, microphone in hand, professional attire, blah, blah, blah. And she needs to say, we're live here witnessing history, humanity's first documented alien encounter. That's it. It was a prompt.
We're live here witnessing history, humanity's first documented alien encounter. Stay tuned. We're live.
Is this crazy?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it looks fake that, but it looks like Independence Day type thing,
Yeah.
you know. So it's
And
but
so,
it doesn't feel right in the thing, but it's very cool, and they're getting better and better with this stuff. So you
yeah.
can spot things, but it's getting better. The voice is really good on there, and those things, but the hover in the background, you know. But it's getting better so quickly.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's scary. And I just love playing with those tools. So let me now walk you through the actual video creation process. And of course, feel free to jump in if you have any questions or if any show up on Facebook. But I tried starting with a script, and I would highly recommend it to those who want that polished view, but I realize that I am not the kind of person who can stick to a script. I like to go off script quite a bit. So I didn't prepare. I have like high level bullet points for this webinar, but I didn't like prepare a lot in advance because I'm off the cuff. If you are doing a script, use your favorite AI tool, make your life easy, just put the topic in there and it'll give you a script, right? Then you can use any of the online teleprompters to, while you're looking in the camera, to read that script. So I typically, for my videos, especially for YouTube, I like to keep my intro short. And when I say short, I mean like 5 to 7 seconds. Like, hey, thanks for coming to my channel. Today we are going to talk about Google VEO3. Let's get started. I used to go into this big 30-second, 1 minute intros, and people would just jump off because they're there to learn. They're not there to see you go blabbing about it for hours just to get to like 2 minutes of the content, right? So that's one thing I learned is just keep your intros short. And that's why I don't need a script for the intro, because the rest of it, in my case, my YouTube channel is all related to tutorials where I'm screen sharing. So as I'm screen sharing, I'm kind of, the content is making itself because I'm just walking them through the steps. So that's what I do. I do an intro and I have my naming convention here. So this one says intro part 1 and 2. This one went a little long. Uh, I kind of just told you that I like to keep it short, but you can see these went into like almost 2 minutes because I had a lot to talk about here before I got into the content. Then I like to break it up into smaller chunks instead of recording like one big 1 hour long video. I just like to stop at like 5-10 minute marks. And this helps because sometimes if I mess up, I only have to do that small segment again instead of redoing the entire thing. Or sometimes there's a technical glitch in Filmora and my camera feed didn't get captured. Well, guess what? I only lost 3 minutes of the camera feed not being captured, which I can always re record, or I can just say, you know what? I'm not that interested in people seeing my face, so I can just not worry about the camera feed. But as long as my screen is recording, I'm good to go.
As long as it's captured the audio, you're okay. So you can just turn it. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes I have myself down the bottom and I'm getting in the way of things, and it's a good idea to just switch yourself off, and pop up at those times. So I think that's interesting you said about that at the beginning as well. Obviously, you try and get to what you're going to talk about as quick as possible to not lose their interest, but also on the front card as well, you're displaying that, aren't you? What it's about, the value of it straight away.
Yep. Yeah, so this one was a video that I published yesterday, and this one was how I'm running Facebook ads and how I use ChatGPT to create those ads. So it was a very involved video showing the different steps, and that's why my intro was a little longer. And then once I do all this, and this is again just to your point, maybe the Descript is recording to the cloud, and that's why my lip sync is off. Ideally, I would like to do it all in one software. So once I'm done, I've done my intro, I've done the meat of the video, which is the middle part. Then I do my outro, which is like, hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, etc., etc. Then I also do it as a lesson because I have a chat GPT course on Udemy. We'll drop that link for those who want to check it out. But I want to repurpose this content and post it to my Udemy course as a lesson. That's why I also do it as a lesson intro and a lesson outro, which is different than my YouTube intro outro.
Right, so hold it there, right? So people understand. So you are basically keeping the middle section because that's what you're teaching. So you're then whacking on the top, and I call it top and tail. So it's like put that intro, that outro based on where you're going to put that content.
Yep.
So reusing all that stuff. So that saves you an absolute fortune in time, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And we haven't even got into content repurposing, but yeah, that saves me a ton of time. So yeah, I think what you said, a good way to think of it is like it's the burger. The buns are interchangeable, but the meat is always the same.
Yeah, perfect.
Then in Filmora, and I'm sure you can do this in any video editing software, I have something called global media. And this is stuff that I use in every single video. It never changes. So I have a bunch of sound effects. Like I like the swoosh sound effect, like this one. And to use that sound effect, I'm not going to always upload it to a project. So I just save it in global media. Same thing with my end screen. So this is my end screen. For my YouTube videos, I always have the same ending screen where I show two extra videos for them to watch. So I always have that. And same thing with like the subscribe buttons. I always want to add a subscribe button in there. So those kind of things I save in this thing called global media folder in Filmora, and I can easily just go and drag and drop them on the video timeline instead of always uploading it and then always adding it. And that takes up extra space on your computer too. So in this case, let's go here where I transition. What I typically do or used to do before I got into this new workflow, which now saves me even more hours, I would add this transition here, right? And with the transition, let me zoom into this timeline a bit. So I have a transition here. Then with the transition, I want to go to my global media and add that swoosh sound. So there's one here called simple swoosh. This one, I would just drag and drop it. Then I go back and here it is. Now it didn't line up. So I would go back, move the playhead here and line it up. And now we have our swish sound and the transition lining up with my video. And that's how I typically go and start editing. Questions on this, David?
No, it's good. It's funny how all the decks now look the same, you know. So it looks the same as Camtasia.
It's all once you know one video editing software, it's like they're all pretty much this. They work with the same timeline, except for Descript, which has no timeline.
Yeah, it's all the editing of the text itself in there. So, but I love timelines. I mean, it's funny because all of them. The only one that doesn't is a VFX program called Nuke, which actually uses pipes. So you like pipe it in. You like drag pipes across and go in through different. But it's very high end VFX stuff. And then you output and comp it in programs like After Effects or I guess Filmora. You know.
Yeah, and David, I'm sure since you know the complicated ones, you have seen, and this is what we're going to touch towards the end, is these timelines can get complex because just to show our viewers, right, you add an overlay here. Now, once you add an overlay here, you have added another piece on the timeline. Now, let's say I'm going to go to stickers. Let's say I want to add a sticker here. And this timeline can keep growing. And before you know it, you have like 20 layers that you're working with.
And you're not even talking about like groups.
No.
So like you can take these like maybe 5 tracks there and you can put them into one group and then you can have like another 5 groups that have got 20 tracks in them. And when you open them up, you tend to like have 60 tracks. And then finding the cause of some problem, you've got to go into all the tracks and find it, trace it down. Look, guys, like Amit's showing you like higher end stuff, right? But it's possible for you guys to do it, but you don't, you could stay with something very simple. You can have 3 or 4 tracks and not go outside of that remit. But Amit's like adding the sound effects in there, these cool transition effects. You've got loads of globals that you're throwing in. So you're building on it all the time, aren't you?
Yes. And that's what I used to do. Now, if you look at my timeline, and if actually this is just one timeline, it's in 3 because my camera feed is separate, my screen recording is separate, and my audio is separate. But when I'm recording, it's all just one. And I still do all that fancy stuff, but that's where I have kind of figured out how to do it with me saving my sanity and my time, because I don't know about you, David, I'm like a perfectionist, right? So 1 minute of raw video is like at least 2 minutes of editing to get it to that polished version. That's usually what my go-to metrics is. Every minute of raw video is going to cost me 2 minutes of editing time. So this video is about 27 minutes long. You can imagine I'm going to spend at least an hour editing this, if not more. because then I want to add an arrow and then I want that arrow to point somewhere. It gets out of control because where do you stop? You just start adding all these bells and whistles and there's no end to it.
All right, I'm going to bring you up on something here. First thing you said doesn't really matter so much about the video quality, matters about the audio. But we can't help ourselves. We need to
Yes.
have all these little things going on.
Yeah, because they keep giving us all these bells and whistles. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll use this too. So now let's say I finish this. I've stopped editing in Filmora. I just export this and then I go to Descript. You get it, whatever it's called. So I go here and this is the same video and this is the latest version of Descript. So some people might be on the older version where you still have the timeline, but they have hidden it from your view. Because here, what I can do is I can just say, oh, I have a filler word here. Let's just go and remove it. So then I can go and remove all the filler words with one click. So I can say just ignore all the filler words and remove. Now all those filler words are boom, gone from the transcript. Just like that. How would you do this in OBS or Filmora? Is I would go here. This is the zoomed out version of the timeline. I would zoom in, and once I zoom in, I start playing it. Then I'm like, oh, look, there's a big gap here. So I'm going to go cut these gaps. Gone.
Yeah.
Now imagine doing this for every frame. Like this would take me literally hours to just remove the gaps. Forget the uhs and the ahs and the filler words. Well, here what I can do is I can say, instead of we took care of the filler words, now we can even remove the silence. So I can go in here, I can select the media, and as I'm selecting this text, it's actually selecting that media in the back end on the timeline, which is the power of Descript, right? It's all AI, all text based. So if you can edit a Word doc, you can edit a video. That's how they look at it. Then let's say I want to add a transition here. I would go create a new scene. Then I'm going to go create another new scene. Oops, I just did it twice. So all you do in Descript is you hit enter and a backslash, and that creates a new scene. And that's it. Now I don't need to add my transitions. Descript knows that, hey, this is a new scene. That means I should automatically add a transition in here. So now if I go play, so the copy of it, and then see how that transition happened? That was all automatic. Now we'll let this play and watch when it gets here to this part. AI to create the ad creative, so the image that'll. No, of course that one didn't do it. So if it didn't do it, I can go and click this and say, do a blur or do a smart transition or do a fade. So all of this is now so easy compared to in Filmora. Oh, I have to go find a dissolve or a big fade or a blur, and then I have to find the cut, and then I have to go drop it on the cut. But not just on my video, I have to then also drop it on the screen recording part. So you can see that I made it look easy because I've been doing this for years, but it still
Yeah.
adds time to drag and drop those versus the software is just smart enough to know, oh, as soon as this scene switches, I need to add the fade. So this time it did the fade because that's the one I had. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing that to be natively working in Descript and recording your timeline in Descript is something that I find super cool, and that's why I want to figure out how can I do it right in Descript is, let's say I added this scene here and add one more scene here. For this scene, because I'm talking a little bit more, I'm going to choose a different layout and look at all these layout packs that they have. Now you can tell me how long this will take you. Once you set it all up in OBS, yeah, it'll be easy. But to do these layouts, you first have to set them up in OBS. So if I go and choose this layout, if I would have recorded this natively, it would automatically put my face on the right side and the screen on the left side. And all I had to do is choose the layout.
Mm.
But because I've imported this from Filmora, it's considering this entire thing as one feed, and it's not splitting my camera from my screen recording.
Yeah, I get it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new composition to show you some of the other things. And I happen to have a video here ready. So I'm going to just drag and drop a video here, and we'll call this. Oh. So in Descript, as soon as you add something, it automatically starts transcribing. So I'm going to let it transcribe the video, and we'll call this demo with David. I'll put today's date in American date format. So while this is loading, David, what questions, if any, do you have for me?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you're doing. I guess our users like it can be a little bit overwhelming. And I got Mickey was saying that this is all helpful, but there's so many pieces that go into it, so it can be overwhelming. Because it can. But I think what Amit's trying to show you here is like what tools, if you want to take stuff to this kind of level, what you need and how you can make it easy for yourself. So I love the way you do what I do. You use the best of other software to put it together. So you could use the same software, but
Yeah.
you know that it will take you longer. So you're like, well, why do I need to do that when I can use Descript and I can just pull out all the silences, the ums and ahs, any of those kind of things. I can whack, and if I've forgotten to put a transition in, I can put it in there. So you're using Filmora to its benefits, aren't you? You're using it because it's good for dropping in sound effects and all of these things, and you're using Descript because it's like a text editor and you can drop things into it as well. So
Yeah.
how long did it take you to find this balance? Because I remember talking to you probably a year ago, and you was just saying Descript. I just use Descript. That's all I use.
Yeah, so I still want to use natively just Descript. I just haven't invested the time to learn some of the things that I know it can do. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just stick to my strengths. I know Filmora. I've spent years learning it. Why go and start learning new softwares? So that's what the balance came in, is stick to my strengths, use Filmora for the video capture and quick editing to stitch things together, export it all out, raw format, bring it to Descript, and now do the fancy stuff in Descript. So you were saying earlier that you have this thing where it kind of like sticks your eyes and you look dead. So Descript has that too, and I can just go here to AI actions, and in AI actions I can enable eye contact. So if I enable eye contact, it will automatically stick my eye to the camera no matter where I look. So see, it enabled it, and now I can simply disable and enable it. And David,
Yeah.
you are a video guy. I mean, just that tiny little toggle, it's doing some crazy amounts of legwork in the back end to make it happen.
It is. It is. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's getting better and better as well. At the
Yeah,
moment, it kind of looks a little bit weird. Sometimes it looks like it's a glowing white that you've got in your eyes.
yeah.
So you look a little bit scary.
So watch this. Now I'm gonna play this. Do you want to turn ChatGPT into your 24/7 personal assistant? I've cracked the code. This is my regular mic. Then I can say, oh, I also want to enable studio sound. It's all AI stuff. It enables studio sound, and now that sounds even better than what it was before. So I'm going to replay that same clip again. Do you want to turn ChatGPT into your 24/7 personal assistant? I've cracked the code and I'm. You saw it remove the background noise, all the
Mm.
music and all that was going on, and just crisped up my voice a bit. So that's all AI. I can remove the ums, ahs, filler words. That was the simple stuff. Now I can do all these things. Like you see my background, I can say blur my background. No green screen required. It's going to figure out where I am standing. It's going to look at my background and it's going to add that depth. And now I can blur my background with just the click of a button.
Mm.
And they recently launched prompting. So now you can just chat with AI and tell it what you want it to do. instead of you doing it, and it'll just go and do it for you. So similar to where we are with ChatGPT today or any other AI tool, now Descript has added prompting, and you can just prompt the AI to do what you want that video to do. So now it's applying the blur, but you also have this thing called Underlord. The Underlord knows it all.
Underlord. What does the Underlord do?
Yeah, so the Underlord is what I was saying is the AI that you can chat with, and you can just ask it anything. So first, before I even go there, you can see now my background is blurred. So I had chosen the blur background here. If I turn it off, watch, my background is now not blur. Now it applies that blur, and I can say give me a full blur, and you can see how crazy this is. And now the blur effect is there, and I didn't have to do this in Filmora.
Can you play it? Because
Yeah,
that's when it sometimes tips.
yeah, absolutely.
I've cracked the code and I'm sharing with you live. If you're tired of
Oh,
AI
that's good. That's
confusion,
good. That's nice.
How would I
That's
do this in Filmora? Same way you would do this in OBS. You would have to clone that video timeline. You would have to remove the background and then add the blur, and then make sure that your cloned layer is on top of the other layer to show that, right? That you have to jump through some hoops to do it. Not anymore. You just ask AI, you just toggle a button, and boom, it's done. Here's the other cool thing. This is one of my favorites, especially for short form videos, is captions. I just drag and drop captions, and just like that, because it's already transcribed everything, I have my captions in here. Now I can see that this is GBT instead of GPT. Let's go ahead and correct that. Now my caption has been fixed. And now when I start playing this video, watch.
hey, do you want to turn ChatGPT into your 24/7 personal assistant?
The captions are there. They auto highlight. Everything happens with drag and drop, clicks. You're not spending hours. And now, my neck thing just dropped. Now you can just go live much faster versus doing the traditional video editing.
Yeah, so that particular, like the captions thing, they drop that into Camtasia. So you can do the same thing. You drop a track and it transcribes it, and then you just go through it, because it always puts Zenler as Zebla. We're at Zebla.
Yep. Yeah. And here are some of the other things, right? So we looked at filler words. You can remove retakes. So it knows if you say the same sentence twice or three times, essentially now you should be looking forward to making mistakes, because then AI will get better at removing them. Because AI will know, oh, these are the mistakes. But if you always stop and correct yourself, then AI is not going to learn. So it can remove the retakes. I was talking about removing the spaces. I can just click on shorten word gaps. And I can say anything that has a gap of more than 10 seconds, shorten it to 5 seconds. So it'll automatically remove those large gaps. And this would be applicable to my previous bigger video, right?
So this could be good for things like if you need a moment to think about something, you know.
Yeah.
So if you're like, this point is marketing funnels and this, you know, then you could sort of boom.
Yeah, I thought you paused for a second there.
Yeah, it would remove that, yeah. So it would give
Yep.
that kind of thing.
And here's something cool. If we go back to my other video, let's just pick this one. Notebook LM. Notebook LM is all launched around. Everyone talks. Actually, this one doesn't have a video for some reason. Here we go. You can create clips. So if you want to just create social media clips for this content, you can look at some of these layouts. And let's just say I want to create this layout. You can say, take this. So I'm going to add a scene here. Now, this is something we are all doing live for the first time. I have never done this, but I have wanting to, because I want to push myself to get more content out there without creating more content. So here, what I'm saying is create 5 clips. So it's just going to pick 5 random clips. Let's just say 15 seconds each. And let's do it in this layout, the social layout. So imagine, David, you have talked to Melissa, you talked to Rakesh, you have all these office hours. How could you repurpose all of that content within minutes? Using something like this, you can just dump it all in Descript and say, find me the best clips and create them into clips for me. And here, now I have 5 clips ready for me. So I can watch this clip here. It automatically resized. And if I hit play, the one website that works all the time is Reddit. So if your podcast is based off a topic that has a lot, it took my, obviously, if I would have done this natively in Descript, it would have taken my camera feed, put it in the corner over there. But because I exported it from Filmora, that's why I'm losing some of that functionality.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
insane. Now I have 5 different clips that I can repurpose, not just repurpose. So if I start playing this one, so what I'm telling, I can say, you know what, for this one, I'm going to choose a different layout. Let's pick this layout. So I picked a bigger layout. Now here, I can choose the source to be my camera instead of the script. Again, if I had natively used it, I would have my camera source. I'd put my camera face there and all the other text here, and I have a brand new layout within clicks.
Yeah, so guys, like Amit's saying, like natively, if he'd have done it all in there, it would have split the tracks out. So it would split you out from the screen sharing that he's done. But because Amit's done it in Filmora, he's produced it as flat. So then obviously Descript can't put things in positions because it hasn't been natively done in there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a good point. I'm sure they're going to get to the stage where they'll be able to separate stuff out,
Oh,
put it in
100%.
films. No, they're gonna know that it's human talking there. They're gonna split you away from the background and they're gonna put you in positions. It's going to happen, isn't it? I mean, looking
Totally.
at what's going on now, it's just like you say, even to go in there, take the transcript and pull out 5 or 10 is saving you a lot of time, isn't it? That's
Absolutely.
it's giving you timestamps as well. So you could even go into your source video, like I could use Camtasia and cut those clips out because it would give me the timestamps on it. So
Yep.
even without using Descript, it's already speeding up my automation.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that was just like, so they have all these buckets here, right? We have the sound, the video, like eye contact, green screen, etc. So I'll show you one last thing and then I'll get into how then I take this and publish the video. This is where, I don't know, I look constipated in this shot, but what I can do is
I had a video earlier like that. Change
I
the
can click
change the
green
thumbnail.
screen. Once I enable green screen, you have an actual green screen behind you that you were showing us. I don't need to do that anymore. I just enabled green screen. Now I can put any background behind me and it knows where the human is to cut my face out, to cut my shoulders. I mean, leave all of that there and just take the background away to then allow me to have any kind of background. So that's the beauty of using AI tools like that is you can get so fast that you should be able to produce content at record speed.
Mm.
So it's applying
Yeah,
that. While it's doing that, here's my next step, right? I have my video today. The only reason why I push it to Descript is to get the transcript. Once I have the transcript, ideally I can do the publishing part here. So if I say draft a title, it can draft a YouTube title for me and whatnot. But this is where I like to make my life complicated. I just copy the entire transcript. Then I go to ChatGPT and in ChatGPT I have a project here called YouTube videos. And I take this and I can share this with you all. This is super simple. I have a repurpose Google Doc and I say, based on the transcript below, create a YouTube title and description for me. So I'll go to ChatGPT. Let's go to actually 4.1 is fine. I'm going to paste the transcript in here. Then I'll go back to YouTube. I mean, my Google Doc and copy this and paste it. So Filmora let me record it. Descript gave me the transcript. ChatGPT is going to give me the title and the thumbnail. And here we go. Now we have, sorry, title and description. So here's my YouTube title that's completely based off that transcript. I don't have to think anymore. And my YouTube description. Then I go down this line and I'm like, okay, now give me high converting YouTube thumbnail ideas. So let's try that too, because I'm going to show you the entire end-to-end process.
No, it's building. So you're building on the initial prompt
Yep,
again and again based on the material it's producing. So as you're doing that, it's learning on each iteration, isn't it?
exactly. So now I'm saying, now give me three image prompts for three different thumbnails. Make sure they are high converting YouTube thumbnails as an image prompt. And then now I can take this. Typically, I would go to Sora, but Sora is a little slower for me because we just, as humans, we want everything instantly. So then I can go to Whisk and put it in here. For you, you would put this in your favorite AI tool, whichever one you like to use. I think you said Kling. And here we have a YouTube thumbnail. Now I can take this into Canva till we wait for AI image editing to get better, remove that person and put my own image on top of this. And now I have a thumbnail that's ready to ship. I used to spend 10 to 15 minutes designing the thumbnail because that's like the main thing, right? If someone doesn't like the thumbnail, they're not going to watch the video. Now that takes maybe a minute, maybe a couple of minutes if I'm waiting for Sora to generate it, and then few tweaks in Canva. But I don't have to always start from scratch now because now I have this that can do it instantly.
Yeah, it's really using AI to your best advantage to speed you up. So would you say like AI, how much time is it saving you? Say a week, how much time is it
I would say
how
two to
much
three
more
hours.
productive are you? Would you say twice, three, four times?
I would say at least 3x. At least 3x productive. So while I wait for Sora, now because this Google tool, I'm not going to use it, right? It's 125 bucks a month. I'm not going to keep spending on it. So while I typically wait for Sora to generate the thumbnail, I go back to ChatGPT. I'm like, okay, now let's do the tags. Now, yeah, I could train a custom GPT to do this as well, but I have this YouTube project, so it has all the knowledge of the project. That's why I just do it this way. So now all my tags are ready that I want to tag on YouTube for my video. So I'll go and copy these tags, paste it in YouTube. And then finally, I want to send an email to my email list, letting them know, hey, this video is out, go watch it, because now I need eyeballs on the video.
But you're checking all this stuff, yeah? You're checking that it's
Oh,
sounding
yeah.
like you and all of these things, yeah?
Yeah. You definitely want to proofread it. You want to take out any AI mistakes from in there 100%. Don't just take it for granted and
No.
play with your prompts too. To now, what I can do is I can take it a step further and say, write a Facebook post and an X post. So now I can also distribute this to my socials by creating the Facebook post and then creating a Twitter post about it.
Yeah, it's I mean we use it a lot similarly like that. We take transcripts, produce blogs off them, we check them, we use very detailed prompts to make it sound less AI and all of these sort of things and check it. And then off of that, VA can then generate the snippets for the social sites. So it speeds things up. Yeah, I'd say three to five times quicker now
Yep.
on production of stuff. Stuff still takes time though. If you're going to do stuff like especially the recording and things like that, you need to make sure stuff's right, well lit. You can't polish something that's mediocre. If you know what you probably will be able to with AI now.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you'll just shove a picture in there and say AI just put the whole video together. Yeah.
I mean, if we go back to Flow, right? I was trying to build these series of characters that were being interviewed by the news and their reaction to the alien landing. So, like,
Guess I'm out of a job now. Real aliens beat the statue guy.
so I could stitch all of these together and create a video. It's going to be very expensive at the current pricing, but this is only going to get better. So, yeah, to
Yeah.
your point. Now, I will say on the flip side, we were planning a trip for Mexico and we shortlisted a resort, and now I wanted to go find videos of this resort. It was frustrating to go through so many AI videos where people have basically taken either still images or short little videos of the resort from their website and just spun up a YouTube video with AI in the background, just talking stuff about it. I'm like, no, I want to actually see a person at that resort.
Yeah,
So
you're
that's the
finding
flip
it
side of
hard.
AI videos.
It is, yeah, real. And I guess, like, with copyrights and all these things, that's going to be, it should, I mean, everywhere you're using AI, it's a really good point to mention that you are using AI. So it's I've done some posts in Facebook where I've been like, well, the answer's quick, I can just get it from AI. But I always put the AI generated, source AI generated. It's
Oh yeah.
true. I backed up by me. I know that's the truth from knowledge, so I can put it out there. But it's getting dodgy where people are, and you see it all the time. You see how many posts come out about this, the giant. I saw a giant killer whale. I mean, it was huge, it couldn't possibly stay up. And it was like dead on the dock or something. And you're like, that's really, and people are like, wow, wow. And I'm like, oh my God, really, really get into that.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go and explore Sora, like people might think this is real, but come on, it's not. So some of this stuff is going to get harder and harder to figure out what's real and what's not. But with anything, right, it's how do you use it to your advantage and how are you smart enough to
Yeah.
know what's real and what's not real?
Yeah, there's actually a picture there. There's an old man, it's black and white. That's actually an artist did the same, an actual sculpt of that using ZBrush. Um, and that's obviously an AI generated version of it because it looks exactly the same.
Yep.
He's a really skilled artist, and he did something similar to that. So it looks like they've used it because remember AI is looking at stuff and it's going
Yeah.
because you can put right, okay, so do me an image of this in the style of Salvador Dali, for instance. So
Yep.
they're tapping in, they're using artist, and they're actually saying, I want it in that style because I like it, and then it's producing it. And I think this is where it's causing a little bit of ruction with artists and music as well. I did this jam with Melissa winning like 1 million. I put this sound thing together,
Yeah.
and it's like rapping. It's really good, you know.
Oh, using suno.com.
Yeah, something like that. And I put it. I did one for Zenler as well. I did Zenler. It's quite funky. It's quite cool. But you can just say like in a pet shop, disco style. This kind
Yeah.
of thing.
It's getting like in Sora, David, you should definitely check it out. What you can do is you can take this existing one and you can just remix it and you can say, oh, I like this image, but guess what? I'm just gonna highlight this pipe. I'm gonna say replace with a vape pen. And
Yeah.
I want only one image and remix. Now it's gonna take that image, it understands I have highlighted a tiny section of it,
Mm.
and it's going to, you can see in the top right corner here, it started making it. While it's making it, I had asked it to do this in the style of Dali, replace the pipe with a vape pen, but this completely changed the image, right?
Yeah.
It's not the original image anymore, but I could just, like how I did earlier, highlight a spot and say, I only want to change that spot. So Sora lets you do that, and all of these, I'm just creating and using them. I don't even look at the copyright thing because I'm the one creating these images, right?
Yeah. What's that? Bacon? Is that like a bacon surfing on bacon? That's
There
pretty
you go. I
cool.
knew that would catch your eye.
I like it. Yeah.
I don't know what the prompt is because it's in not in English. Looks like Mandarin Cantonese or something. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty wild, man.
It's
So
crazy.
what
Right.
I will show
Amit,
you.
that is we got more to see. We're out of time. It's 8 minutes past.
Okay, what I wanted to show you is how does that translate into the actual finished product is my YouTube channel, right? You can see the last one I did about the Google's product got a lot of views, 834. But you can see how many I published in May. One, two, three, four, five, six in May, about six in April. And if you see before that, March was not bad, but look at my February, look at my January and December. I was so spotty with publishing this, and that kind of impacts your subscribers, right? The less you publish, the less subscribers you're going to have. Now, I've started publishing regularly starting April. So that was the last thing I wanted to share here is how do I get to this? And what I have done now, and I actually just ended up creating this as a service because I figured if I have a need, others might have a need for this, which is I have a team of editors now in India who do all the editing for me and who all use Filmora. And I'm like, I'm just going to create a service out of this for anyone who wants it. So anyone watching this, you kind of twisted my arm to give a discount for Zenler. So what this is a video editing service. You get up to 10 videos per month, so you give us the raw video, we give you the final, and that final, just to show you a quick one, I know we are out of time. If I go to
No, take your time. I mean, it's absolutely fine. As you're showing
look at this intro.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. This is your boy Amit. You know what's up. Google just dropped a bomb, right? With Flow. I'm on Flow Ultra, and we are going to check out.
You see this intro? I didn't do any of this. All of that background stuff, all of the titles, everything appearing on the screen was my editing team
out today.
They do it for me. I drop it in a Google Drive. They just take it from there and I get a finished product back. I have a VA and that's not part of this service, but then I hired a VA who then goes and uploads it to YouTube and does all of that thing that I did earlier with this Google Doc. He uploads it to YouTube, gives it a title, gives it a description, gives the tags, gives the thumbnails, everything. I have to just go and hit publish and the video gets published. So that's the flow I'm at right now. But for the Zenler people, I wanted to create something where other creators could benefit from this, whether it's your YouTube channel or you want to speed up your course videos and not get stuck into the editing piece. So David, thank you. You provided a lot of input on, mentioning that this is human edited only. We don't use AI, even though that's what this video was about. It's getting there, but it's not fully there. And to make this into a service, everyone has different needs, right? One thing I will note, this is changing to 5 revisions per video. It's not unlimited revisions, or I don't want people to get into this kind of cycle of perfection. That's why we'll give you 5 revisions per video. So you give us a video, we'll edit it, we'll give you for revision. You don't like something, you're like, oh, change these few things. Okay, that's considered revision 1. Then you go and get it back. Now change these few things. Okay, that's revision 2. So we can do that up to 5 times per video. You can give us your assets. So your brand, your logo, your color, we'll put all of that in the video. We can also use our own royalty-free assets. So AI has made it really easy to use AI generated sounds, images, GIFs, whatever, right? And this is kind of like the process. You upload it to Google Drive, you'll get a dedicated drive, upload your assets, we start editing it. We give you the first cut back in 2 to 3 days. Then we do the revisions and then you get the final cut. And pricing. So for this, I already applied a 10% discount for the Zenler folks, David, on the 3-month plan. But for the 1-month plan, we'll also give them a coupon code. So if they want the coupon, they can just comment on this video in the Facebook group, tag me, and I'll give them the coupon code for the 10% if they want to just try it for a month. But this basically breaks down to $50 a video. Now, David,
Yeah.
if you had 10 videos of 20 minutes of raw video footage per month, think about what is that worth your time, not the $50 per video that you're going to spend, but what is that going to do to free up your time? That's what I want our listeners, our viewers to remember is the gift of time, not the money that they're spending. Yeah, it's going to cost money, but what are you going to do with all that extra time is my question.
Well, this is the thing, and also because technically this is hard for some of you guys to do as well. It's really important. It's another important. Amit said he's got this service. I think it's really great because it's a really good deal. I personally, I love editing and stuff like that, so I never want to let go of it. But because I just think it's creative, it's fun, it's what I live for.
Yeah.
So that's me. But you guys, you know, this is a massive opportunity. So it's really good. Amit's going to give me a bit more information so I can put it in the post as well, because I'll be splitting this away. We'll be putting it on to our YouTube channel as well. So I want it out there. There's not many people looking, so not many people. I don't know what's going on today. It's really crazy. It's like something's major has happened in the US or something. Is it all right? Is aliens attacked or
It's
something?
summer, it's Friday, it's summertime, and it's the weekend, dude. Well, you mentioned something, and I want to call it out for a second. I think everyone should do this. You should do this too, David. Go to your chat GPT and give it this prompt. What's the false story I keep returning to even though I know it's not working? By this point, our AI knows us because of all the chats we have had. And this is where you said you like to edit and you would never use this. But here's the thing, that's the false story you keep returning to as well, because that's what I got this epiphany because I wouldn't listen to my wife. She has told me this 100 times. But when chat told me, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. I do too much alone and I don't use people and don't use people who are good at what they do. And I keep getting stuck in, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. But well, that plate keeps getting full. And at the end
Yeah.
of the day, I just don't have time to edit. You love it. Editing just bores the shit out of me. I hate it. It's like I don't want to keep going back a frame and doing this and doing this.
Yeah, I think it can. We have to produce so much media, and we do here at Zenler. And you know, we have VAs doing stuff as well. My wife does it. She does editing, things like this. Can really speed things up. Rakesh always watches these things anyway. So I don't know if you reached out to him, told him about this service, but maybe you
Not
should.
yet.
Yeah. So but he's going to see it now, so it's really good. So it's one of those things that we like to try, and if people are producing really good stuff for us, then why not? You know. But I think this opportunity for people, because the problem that a lot of the problem is, and I've talked to you about this, I've sent you messages and things, I've told you what the concerns of people are, and that is they just don't understand any of it. So if they've got someone that you're going to charge like you say, $50 for a video or something, then it's easier for them because it'll probably take them a good day, or well, they couldn't do it, and they don't have to spend any money on special software or anything. Don't have to get effects libraries or anything like this because it's all taken care of, and they get to make revisions to it. You know.
Yeah.
You can't put unlimited. You cannot put unlimited down there. You know that. You will have some people like 40, 50 times, and you'll be like, ah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, you're absolutely right. And my workflow has become so much simpler now. I can focus on creating the content instead of editing the content, right? That's not my job. My job is as a content creator is to get my content out there.
Yeah.
I don't care if they didn't put an arrow here pointing here with the animation and smooth in and out and transition. No, people don't come to YouTube for that. They come to learn. Same thing with courses. They're buying your course to get from point A to point B to learn something. Not to say, oh my gosh, David forgot to put two arrows there and that would have been so cool. No, no one cares about that.
No, I get it. I get it. It's the same with content as well, isn't it? So, like, I mean, that's what's so crazy about it, Amy. I mean, you must see like 2 years ago, for instance, so you put yourself back in that time, and you think now you're saving time with videos, but you're already saving yourself 3 or 4 times on the work that you're doing. So you're producing more, you're saving more time on things, but it's still the same, isn't it? You're still working as much, you're producing more, and we still can't keep up with it.
Yeah,
You know, it's like an ongoing thing. So if you can put some work off for someone else to do, then surely that's the way to go and to grow out that way.
I'll
If you
show
got
you. I have a
money to do
sticky
it.
note here. This sticky note reminds me of what not to do. It says 20 years because I was thinking if I want to become a full-time content creator, that's 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. If I keep doing that how I am doing today, with 2 hours a day at night when my kids go to bed, I put in 10 hours a week. it will take me 20 years to do the same amount of work that I could do in 1 year if I was to go full time with this. So that's my goal, to get there. And to achieve that goal, these are the steps I need to take. I need to have a team who does things for me, and AI has made it easier. Now you don't need a team. You have AI on your side with prompts that you save as a template, and now you can maximize your productivity. But
Yeah.
with video editing, we are not there yet. That's why I'm using people where I can, but I can still get more out there. You saw my YouTube channel. Now I'm consistent. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm trying to get videos out there.
Yeah, this is really cool. I mean, thank you, Amit. It's been really interesting watching that whole workflow, and I'm sure people would be like, "Wow, all that stuff," and like at the end part, oh, wow! I don't have to take in anything Amit said for the last hour. I can just use his service. You like
It's been a
bombshell,
lifesaver for me, man. I just love it.
but I
Even
love
if
it
no
at the
one else
end.
takes it, they can find their own editors on Fiverr,
Yeah.
but just let go of the reins. Like let go of the control. Let others do what they're good at, create content.
Yeah, well, everybody knows you in the group, so that's a good thing. So it's like they come to people they know and they trust, and people that help them. What goes around comes around. It's my philosophy. So you always see that side of things. But really nice also to see you hold up that little card with 20 years and work out that actually, if you put more time into it, you grow a team, you can do it in 1 year instead of 20 years, and cut that right down. And AI is helping you get to where you want to be quicker. This is what it's all about, isn't it? So it's not about
Absolutely.
like AI is going to conquer the world or anything. It's about you using that technology now, and
Exactly.
use it well, like you do. Amit,
And
thank you so much. You're going to send me a bit more information on this so I can put it into the posts and stuff, yeah?
yes,
I'm
sir.
going to die now, right? I'm going to just drop down. I need something to eat, but I'll message you anyway, yeah?
Yes, go enjoy your weekend and we'll stay in touch. Thank you all for watching, whoever shows up. And I don't know what's going on in the US. Maybe it's the tariffs. People are scared about the tariffs and didn't show up.
Oh, yeah, could be, couldn't it?
But yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. And the next one, if there's interest, we'll see in the comments when people watch this. That website that I was showing you about my services was made with 5 prompts. So if there's interest on how to make amazing websites with prompts, that can be the next one.
Yeah, well, I'm interested.
I'll let you know. It's a
Come on
secret,
the
and we
show.
need we need enough interest to get it going.
Yeah, I think you should be regularly on a day with Zenler.
Yes, sir. I sign me up. All right. Have a good one.
See you later. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Bye.
See you later. All right, guys, we're off. So Amit there, brilliant, always good fun. And they're also giving, I always twist their arm, you see. So I'm like, come on, you got to give a deal. You got to give a deal. But it's like, this what I can't give a deal, but I will. So really good. Amit's amazing, showing you all those things. And I know like it can be, because video editing can be really technical, okay? So any kind, like even design or stuff that I do like for 3D, you can really lose people. But just understand how he's using AI. And I think if you understand that, then it's all good. And understand right at the end, like maybe you don't need to do any of that, because if you take like Amit's service, you can get those videos done anyway. And you've got to just be on the phone and just do your bit on the phone and just send it, and they'll make it look amazing. So always a good thing. So that's what Amit's up to as well. Always good. Guys, it's been a day with Zenler. We've been on for well over 6 hours now. This has been nearly a 2.5 hour session, so we're going to tie it up now. Sorry about the interruption as well. I don't know what happened. Amit came in and then suddenly everything just went off. The stream cut off on Facebook. Zoom was still running, didn't cut Zoom off. It just disconnected on Facebook. So then I can't reconnect. So I had to go back in. I had to shut the Zoom session down. And it was like, okay. And then I set another Zoom session up. I then streamed it back in, and then I re-invited Amit to come in, and we popped up for here. So we've had 4 sessions, okay, but it should have been 3. Guys, take care. Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you soon.